moving along, number 2 point, Plummy. My number 2 point is about public utilities. Public utilities, these are things like transportation, air, land, sea, electricity, water and sanitation, ICTs. These are public utilities. Chairman, if you may scan him, the state of public utilities, facilities and services across the country, we find that almost all of these facilities, services are found one thing. On the availability and accessibility and affordability indicators. The situation is dire nationwide and maybe worse here on Bougainville, Mr. Chairman. These are not, me like reminding us that these are not only public utilities, but these are socio-economic enablers. And suppose this is stop, economy na move. We were talking about the back road from Arawa to Buin. That is this state law, this it's impeding economic progress. People are struggling, business is stagnant. So these are socio-economic enablers, and they may determine, shape the socio-economic rankings of the Republic through the availability, accessibility, and affordability of these public utilities. So me like Togosem, we added to this, we need to be given constitutional attention for the simple fact that these are the drivers of the Republic's heartbeat. And important true. We take these things for granted, but suppose road is no good, suppose electricity no work, suppose water and sanitation, I will guarantee you that the new nation will be stagnant. It will not gain attention. So, Chairman, I have a feeling that these matters belong to Chapter 4. These matters belong to Chapter 4, Part 3, exactly Part 3, socio-economic rights. So in there somewhere, I would like to appeal to the team to insert these important public utilities when we talk. It could serve useful constitutional attention to include it in precise vocabulary and terms pertaining to citizens' right to the availability, the accessibility, and affordability of public utilities, including transport, me repeat again, transportation, land, air, sea, electricity, water and sanitation, and ICT. So these are all critical utilities, and the last one is essential in this digitally driven, globalized world. I get a sense that without inclusion of these matters, the Republic will struggle to attain socio-economic attraction. Me like me like this should be given some attention in the Constitution. Number 3 point now, Mr. Chairman, me like levels of government. I mentioned this in my earlier statement in May, in Chapter 5, Section 64, levels of government. We should endeavor to achieve balance in consideration of the operating expenses involved in running the levels of government. It is important to recognize that the Republic is a small one, and over-governing it may lead to unnecessary expenses. Duplication of powers, functions, and authority, leadership alienation and conflicts, bureaucratic red tape, delays in taking decisions and implementing decisions, among others. Me naming few, that's all. Already there are signs of conflict in some constituencies, my constituency included. Bit of tension between community governments. So we need to really map this out. These aspects call for careful determination of how and where in the levels of government chiefs could be integrated to play government roles at the constituency. Rightly, Member for Selau made mention of these chiefs are the custodians of the resources. They're the custodians of the land and anything that is contained in the land. I think me feeling also maybe important through this is necessary because chiefs are the custodians of the land and the natural resources. Therefore, they should not be alienated to be bystanders. This is important. So similarly, one kind time, chiefs are the leaders of the respective clan populations. So the position and role of chiefs important too. Chairman, operating, managing, and keeping governments funded is a single most hefty overhead. Hence, care needs to be taken in deciding who plays what role and where and at the different layers of the government. Importantly, clarity must be made on where and what roles the chiefs should play in consideration of their position in the communities, because unforeseen misunderstandings may cause conflicts to the detriment of important development projects. Mr. Chairman. Now, we go along number 4 point where we been like talk long today. It's concerning the recall of member. This is a point established constitution. I want to say from the outset, people explaining this section should be taken out. This section should be taken out of the constitution. I will tell you why. Section 82 hosts the provisions processing involving the recall of a member. With due respect to the Constitution Planning Commission, CPC, I wish to suggest that the relevant Section 82 and the subsections 1 to 7 be eliminated totally from the Republic's Constitution. There are many reasons for the suggested elimination of Section 82 and the subsections 1 to 7, including but not limited to, it compromises the credibility of the election process. It does. It does. It will serve useful purpose if we streamline and make the election process very effective, accurate, and corruption-free. It is also a waste of time, money, and resources to conduct the by-election. Number 3, this will save Constitution to cater for new and more critical issues that will benefit the Republic. That said, there are much more important things to include in the Constitution rather than highly controversial topics such as a recall of a member. Me calling this a recall of member section, it's highly controversial. I would like to call for its elimination. I mean, the Court of Disputed Returns and Wampler Avenue, where you dissatisfied candidate or citizen, you can go there to the Court of Disputes. Also, there is the next election that's coming. You still have the chance to contest again. So me feels the recall provision should be taken out to save space in the Constitution and to insert other more important matters like the public utilities matter. Public utilities is a socio-economic enabler. We got to also think when we're talking about Constitution, we also got to think cost-effective benefits of this. So me like talk about this is a controversial agenda. Recall of members should be taken off the Constitution with due respect to the CPC. An example of much more important agenda to be included is that alluded to earlier in this piece, public utilities, an essential socio-economic right. So by me now working last point, Chairman, no good you Belhatkan, taking too much time. So item number 5, Leader of the Opposition. As mentioned to by Honorable Member for Haku, thank you for raising that point. In a normal democratic functioning government, the opposition is important, critical constituent of the government. So I would like to appeal to the drafting team to make this not just an option. It is a critical part of, so next house, 5th house, we should have an opposition. For all the reasons that Honorable Member for Haku had outlined this morning, I fully agree, concur, and support the points that Member for Haku has raised. And not only him, when I did some updates at Arawa, actually with South Nashia member and Kokoda member, there was a lot of voices that express the importance of including the opposition government. It's very important. This is quite critical. So Section 82, subsection 1, discusses the leader of opposition, but it fails to give the raison d'etre of the opposition in a normal democratic system of government. The opposition plays a critical role in an orthodox functioning democratic system of government. Therefore, the wordings in Section 83, subsection 1, need to be changed for the following reason. The words used therein, quote, if there are at least 5 members of the House of Representatives who do not support the President and the Executive. I think this wording is probably not right. Let's use some diplomacy. This plan no private business belong President and of these 5 members. It's not about opposing the President. It's about keeping the checks and balances. It's about accountability. It's about transparency. It's about taking the debate to a next level. It's about interrogating issues and then providing alternative opinions. So this is my strongest appeal, as Honorable Member for Haku has expressed this morning. What bothers me is the opposing of the President and the Executive Council, five members of the House. A functioning democratic system of government necessarily requires an opposition not merely to oppose the President and the executive government, but to provide the critical check and balance, to hold the government accountable, and to promote the quality of scrutiny and debate on all issues of national interest. Indeed, there is no such thing as an opposition-less democratic form of government. As such a situation may send mixed signals to the global community and the stakeholders. So, Chairman, me close to finish now.
Chair, Honorable Member, you have 2 more minutes left.
Okay. Thank you, Chairman. So notwithstanding the foregoing, I appeal to the drafting team to reword and amend Section 82, subsection 1 to reflect the raison d'etre of opposition in a normal democratic system of government. It is unorthodox not to have an opposition in a democratic form of government. The opposition is a necessary constituent in the democratic form of government rather than being just an option. So in all possibility, the next House, the 5th House, should really have an opposition. Chairman, apart from the small typo, there's probably a minor repetition. You know, my English is not so very good. On Section 82, subsection 2B, for now, there's a bit of repetition. For now, I feel that the rest of the chapters and the schedule 1 to 8 seem to be in order. Chairman, this completes my inputs from the one that I presented in May and this one, and I'm happy that you have given me option to complete my statement. So I will conclude now. I confirm that the aforementioned pointers are all offered without prejudice for the interest of the Republic. Again, on behalf of Kopi constituency, I thank the CPC and the drafting team for getting the Constitution of the Republic to these states. So this is a single most important phase of the independence journey and should never be taken lightly. Once again, I express heartfelt appreciation for the opportunity to speak, to present this addendum. Thank you, Chairman. But before me finish, me feeling was after this long debate, I think the Constitution should be amended, printed, distributed to again us. And I would like to say, probably it's not this House that's going to approve it. Maybe it's the next House. This is too much. There's too much at stake. Thank you, Chairman. You allowing me to talk.
Wow. Thank you, Assistant Speaker. I seek leave of the House to extend the debate by, 15 minutes maybe. Minister, you can go ahead. Me talk 15 minutes because maybe me harap talk na me go to. Me talk thank you long this opportunity you giving me long quickly talk back long this constituency, sorry, constitution that is at hand. And me believe also, I think having the time long debating this constitution last time, I have to, go back to look back long this constitution and implications that this particular constitution, and by bringing, especially when we talk about, getting us into a new country. But having said that, also me like to call some the constitution itself, by needing all regulations, na sub laws long long providing this direction that you me walk long look long. I want to reiterate what I said during the last discussions, particularly on land and citizenship. Me looking also the debate last time ensured, but I think it was not taken very seriously. Long this draft that you got now again. And it is important that some of these things are quite concerning. Me being talk also, we have long land. We play progressive finish for land law, and these are government land, which is termed as state land, but in Bougainville we just term it as government land. Number two, law block ground and customary land. Number three, ground and number three, law and Registers Act. Now number four, law and Fiscal Planning Act. Now this law of laws from the department's point of view, let me put in this overarching framework long all issue block ground. And then just recently, aste to me talk long on the importance of us in Bougainville, maybe next house coming, must concentrate on raising the bar of the economy. Now the laws play an important role and part in making sure that we raise the bar of the economy. And one of the things is to make land free and available. Then development must come up. Obviously, time only outside, when we open up to outside investors, and we must come now face to face one time all this law that we are talking about. It's one thing debating here, but it's also a different thing time you go now like implementing. Just give you an example. Recently, me being attracting some interest from investors. Now they come look long all the swamp areas, long central na long buin. And we got to deal on plenty of swampy areas and only stop inside long all customary land holdings. And then time only come. I tasked some of the officers long only guide them all along, make sure that they get the correct processes in place long only vet him interest long only go inside. But just even before we start, we got to face with a lot of setbacks. And to me as a minister, maybe also, okay, the customer land owners want more power. But all this no, they are not willing to actually work to give up their land. So this, big problem that we need to actually sort him out from maybe from the land department perspective, and then NAMIPLA having a good conversation, maybe some form of awareness one time all land-owning groups again. On a more serious note, all the land-owning groups too, customary landowners, they have a lot of differences inside Longol. And it is very difficult for them to give up the land. Not only long customary land areas, but only movie going, he come inside Longol, what we call the government land. Only tokol sem, all government land too, mi papa ground. Even the freehold land. And this is what I had to do with some of the leaders in here too. Me, as a minister, me been like putting people different strategies. You must have them ground long usat. In that way, we will move development faster. Suppose may ground long government. Papa ground you know got tok long display ground niya. Sometimes we create this space for, you know, ignorance long come inside. We buy me to call some traditional no na siol papa belum dislahab. Mi no sa like arimol dislah kainol tok ya. So time you to call some papa belum ground belum gaman ground em now pa mi deal one time usat lo ya. Assistant Speaker, ground em one plus first plus something by you stream belum you attractive investasi kam. Now dislah lo must put him dislah lo ground good straight. Put him foundation. This is the last most important thing by me tok na imigolong election. Assistant Speaker, we have a lot of conflicts of interest. Isa come when we talk about land here in Bougainville. Now there's a lot of misunderstanding. Samplamano sa tokol sem mi plapait long Bougainville crisis and olga tagiraw mi pla kisimpinis sa tokol sem. And with that attitude now, only claim him all get a giran or semblongol. Na government by walking walk lo 1.5. Development by come up lo 1.5. You lenona, you karakaray lo, rights flow you. Well, we gave it. We gave you the right through this act. What problem do you now? You must do some passing block, Yaman. We are not going to attract investment if we keep playing with ourselves. People are giving me this right through the Customary Land Act, and that's the most we can do. It's only done here in Bougainville and nowhere else. We try to do away with compulsory acquisition, and I want all of you leaders here, don't go back one time this from me. Again, I reiterate, you will not attract investment if you continue to be an obstacle to land. But you will like money. You will under man. Money by walking away. No katablo you walking money. One time sila kain attitude. So, let's distinguish what we want as Bougainvilleans. Let's respect the land that belonging to the government. That's my point. Let's respect the land belonging to the customary land owners. Now respecting all freehold land. Today we have a lot of squatters in freehold land. Na passing from Tokimol, long resettlement, and we pang people challenge. We have a case in Soroken. We got the case all the way through these plantations. And there are plans that are ready for us to kickstart. Unfortunately, it's end of the term now. But you may come back and by me work in this law. But we make sure we want to get these things right. First thing, last time I spoke about the implication of us being a citizens of North Solomons and a guy who owns our land as a Bougainvillean. What do we define? What is the implication or profound implication between these two definitions? And I didn't see anything here. It's still the same. Long act, mi wak minimum sem long Bougainville land act mi plato ko sem customary land na mo pla Bougainvillean. Tasolong dis plan niu plalo mi mo plato ko sem yumi wan plan North Solomon citizens. bayo migo na amendim Bougainville Act, Land Act, or bayo mi amendim Logia, I don't know. That's my point. Because citizenship is somewhat tied to land ownership here in Bougainville. Assistant Speaker, I think this is the most important statement that I am doing now for the last time. So we got to be very clear of these definitions, because we have already captured in our land law that a customary landowner is a Bougainvillean. But in this constitution now, we're talking about as citizenship being a North Solomon citizen of North Solomons. In here, we also see the, the principle of citizenship. Time man become a citizen, by become a automatically landowner. This man, new man, suppose, and become a citizen. M2 and 1 plus something by we must sabe long long Bougainville, long this last constitution that we are trying to go away from it now, na come pass law this law. There was a clause that said that anybody from outside or anywhere that the marriage come long Bougainville is automatically a Bougainvillean. Now we got problems with the Chinese people. One time they called me from Lane Alto, come walk in, forum. And I did came. Me come walk in tribal forum, time mo Miss President, Lombelisi. Now talk ibla like Rausimol Usat, talk ibla like Rausimol China. Satol China. Online na kat stolong up. Talk you mas long ya junior tumare. And because law ito call se mem all Bougainvilleans because they are married to Bougainvilleans. And then I rest my case and I went back home. So, long side, long ground, we will talk also. And we must put him, food on the ground in terms of what we mean by citizenship and land ownership. They must somewhat harmonize and synchronize itself in the law. Long pinisim, me like to call some. As we come to the end of our term, now elections, I just want to bring our attention to the section 94, where it talks about qualifications and disqualifications of the president and staff. President must at least be 50 years old and then be considered as a president. Me personally, me believe also 40 years is, they say that life really begins after 40 years. And 40 years is a generation. And I think maybe we should come down long 40 years. There is a significant reason why 40 is really that age. 40 years in one blood generation. Now 40 years is time where lives are begin into adulthood na disla. All get education, when you track it down from primary, go to university, master's, na doctorate, na whatnot that you miss a name him. By the time you finish, and some bit of experience, that's 40 years, right there. So meeting also, president should be at least 40 years, not really necessarily 50 years, because 40 years, year blow one blood generation, come now. And it is biblical. You may talk also in a Christian country. Don't just put numbers here. Numbers mean a lot. So me believe also in 40 years. Me come up 40 years this year. And I got to learn a lot of things, bad and good. Long section 94. Walk long imply halfway me to temple president by this law. I can't see. Just saying that it is a two-term, full term. But it imply more same that's a 2-year term, 2 years or 1 year. 5 years or 2 years that's all by President come up. We know that in this current scenario, we have a 10-year period where we call him also 2-term. Is it still that? Me like bringing one issue before me sitting down now. It is about I think the member for copy and me touch him click. I think that when we talk about the qualification of President too, we must also look at some of the, professional qualifications. At least minimum requirement for school by mass one. Because it is the office of the highest order along this new country. One of something that we must put him also more benchmark. Not only in education, but some certain traits. Because we cannot just have any Tom, Dick, and Harry long come up. Today, as a speaker, me talk me one something me true straight. Today we have opened up so much that all can man only come up member na liting all can come up member nothing. And this is not good. Long this year, this platform, with due respect to all members, very little legislation was passed. And it is a fact. We as legislators, as members of the House of Parliament, our first role is not to go and, give service, rice and tank and whatever. I don't believe. Our first legislation as members and legislators in this House is to make sure that we have laws that are very sound to the running of this island. And I was not a minister. I became minister halfway. And guess what? I was able to pass 2 very important laws, 4 land laws and a green and a blue economic policy.
Thank you, Minister. You have 1 minute left for your time lapses. Thank you.
Man, mi oklo preach, na mi oklo film suit, okay, mi finish up. Finally, me like to call them, me support him this like call where you may recall him all member nothing and must out. It brings a lot of infighting. Na two me woklo like talk long. Quickly conclude by saying that the Constitution to me still needs a lot of, thorough searching, looking before it is approved and passed. There's a lot of mismatch here, and I think by carefully looking into it and carefully observing, and I believe not everything will be in this Constitution. There will be some bylaws of it, but as it is, I believe that it is not that quite ready yet. Need him some kindly click, maybe 1 or 2, look long, we must not rush it. I thank you, Assistant Speaker.
Thank you, members of the Assembly. I think it's good that you call me the Assistant Chairperson or Chairman. And we are in the Assembly, Constituent Assembly. Thank you. Women's member for South Bougainville.
Thank you, Assistant Chair. Me like to call sem. Me hamamas lo display Constitution. That me read through. So you got some click something to solve me like point him out. Number 1, lo name. This is a sovereign name. National name, Bloyumi. The Republic of North Solomons. Me like to call them I think, suppose you may call him Republic of Bougainville by Amy Goodplamo. Blowanem. This la name Bougainville. Emi one plus special name. Emi one plus peculiar name. Where no got narapla all countries or nations got. Bougainville. Very special, very peculiar. Lo displa island nation tasol. Natu, displa name Bougainville. I mean internationally known. All get something that has to do with the journey of this new nation to be. And even as far as the online law, international, all other countries, all isabelongen, it's all about Bougainville. The happenings may happen inside of Bougainville. The walkabout, where you may start the walkabout long and start one time all for fathers blow you may and walkabout blow Bougainville. Emi true, you may stop long side blow all Solomons, but I think this plan name Bougainville is very special. So me feel him also. Lo plenty or something too, where it will come up now, like in way of trade na all this plan. All na reply talk finish. We don't have talk plenty on this la. Emi this la name. Emi speaking volume ya. Bougainville. Emi will come up with some trade name. So me meeting also this plan name, you should keep him. You should change him, the Republic of North Solomons. He go back to the Republic of Bougainville. Law chapter 4, me like look long the freedom of movement. Freedom of movement. Now, what kind of qualifications you may got? You may talk long movement, long all people of Bougainville or citizens belong here in the new nation. From here, he go out, no got something. But all who sat Iboklo come inside. Do we have any qualifications for them? Lo come inside, lo place blow you me. How do we scrutinize them? How do they qualify? Lo come inside. Because suppose you may larim just anyone. Lo come inside. Lo place long along Bougainville. We are going to have big problems. Some weeks back, me give him example. Online, somebody from outside also will come inside the market. Only stop here, only come up on market line. Book about inside the market, now something happened, and this is a lady. And me turn him, and me pull him down market house, belong all market line. Tent belong all. Back up him or get us something. Capside him, go down. You may like him display, me continue. You may must put him special guidelines or policies, lo larim, or narapla line lo come inside. Now, Olino can come inside nothing. They must have valid reasons to the benefit of Bougainville, lo come inside. This plan is very important. Some time ago, another incident happened prior to that one in the main market. One of our mothers, only market, put him table belong all, just on the side of the boat stop. Now one plan marry somebody from outside, and me come. Now I me claim him also, this like space belong him. Now I me cross one time this plan, mama, who is a Bougainvillean. Rouse him all get a market something belong him. Me talk lo this plan because all mama blow you me, all Isabel sit down day in, day out, lo pain him, all Toya belong all, Toya blow family, work him all SMEs belong all. All sem na mi talk strong. Lord Isla, freedom of movement. Right that people have to move. So how far this right, how far this freedom you may can give him? And me important true, lo you must think. Suppose you may not make him all same. Some years down the line, we'll have vagrants all over the place, crawling this place, the towns of Bougainville. Because Bougainville is really quite attractive. People talk about cash flow, lo Bougainville, all Narapla line. People from outside, only come inside, look him. Only go, na sampla long only no like go back. Maski only finish work, only no like go back, lo place long all. Because he got cash flow, what they call cash flow in Bougainville. So please, me talk strong. Lo, you must look lo this la. Freedom of movement. How much freedom can we give to people? What qualifications? How they qualify to come inside? What guidelines? What policies? What boundaries can we give to people coming in to our place? Narapla liklik o narapla hap mi like look longen 37 lo chapter 4 long access to information. Everyone has the right to access information held by state bodies and information held by another person and required for the exercise or protection of any legal right. Now you go down. Information is very important. Important true, and big plus something. It is very important to us as leaders, very important to those that we represent here in this house, and then it's very important to the second tier government and down the line to the wards. Information, and we must reach him. All people blow you me. He go down all getter. Because time all people blow you me only no got information, good play information, right information. Out of ignorance, Only know sabi make him all write something. Out of ignorance, only can come up him all heavy. Na sindaw ni bagarap. So, you may must look long all avenue where information must go out. Long all people blow you me. Also all media you me got. All media stations you me got. All rural areas blow you me. All you know sabi kisim all no got access. Lo kisim information lo radio. Before you miss sabi got coverage. Long all get a hub lo Bougainville. All villages. Only sabi kisim coverage. Only got radio lo all get a hub. News by Oli Harim. Now Oli Harim good. Oli Harim right information. Kiss him right information. Now people down there, only been all right. Only sabi kiss him good information. But today, this la coverage belong all radio, yeah, you know karamap yung all get a hap. I'm only click hap that's all. So I'm big for something. Gaman yami need lo make him, and need lo work lo this la. And need to make sure that radio coverage and go out to all get a hub. So that all get a line, all he can kiss him good pla information. Now I good pla too, because you may as leaders, you may can get all sessions or even all programs. Lo you may put him long on radio now, all line blow you may tumble all by Harim. And they would be briefed, they would be informed as to where we are, what is happening. Okay, one time this let me like continue on long side long education regarding information too. Education system blow you may. Now you may walk behind him, education system blow Papua New Guinea. Hear me like come up him sample like tinting tasol. By government blow you me and we can look. Long put him sample good pla curriculum. Blong all students blow you me, all pikinini blow you me. To be taught, he must get space, belong all pikinini blow you me, or he must line him what our constitution says. Lo start time only likely. They must be taught our laws. They must be informed well of our laws, of our constitution. So that only can survey, now only can grow, ego on top. By the time only reach him, grade 10, ego on top, 12, and into higher institutions, they are well versed with our constitution and our laws. Plenty all big head passing is sabi come up because all young pla only no sabi long good long all laws pla yumi. What the law says. One me one plus something or heavy only can pine him, only can face him. Suppose only continue long, brook him law. So emi good pla long all schools pla yumi can be introduced. This curriculum must be introduced. Long all get a schools. Only must sabe. Long all law blow yumi. Now too, inside long all schools, you must make sure every house, he got one pla print, belong all one pla chart, where he got photo, belong all get a picture, belong all get a members, now all ministers, their portfolios, now constituencies belong all the regional seats that we represent, so that all get a pikinini below Yumi inside all schools, they'll be informed well. Why all you can sabe? Who's that emi member belong all? Pays belong and local semanim. Or all the right information about who represents them. Who's that emi minister belong finance? Who's that emi minister belong DPI, fisheries, marine, and so forth. Meeting this important too because right now, all schools play me. Only no got this plan. Inside long all schools la Bougainville. Time you go. Inside long no got one pla chat belong photo you got photo belong all members long all schools, long all classrooms, rather. So meeting all same. This plan me big plus something true. Important true. Long all schools blow you me. So all schools blow you me, all pikinini, all must have a got good information. So one time this plan, I think I'm click or something where me like contribute long and thank you, Assistant Speaker.
Honorable Member for Kokoda.
Thank you, Chairman. Like raise him some point lawyer long this debate where we come up with this constitution along the nation of Bougainville. When we raise him marking people from the Kokoda constituency, when we raise him 5 point lawyer long working contribution from people. Thank you that all some speeches or debate and come up from all speakers, chairman, me like to call them big thing where inside all this that constitution blow me and me must stop long building up security and me must stop inside long constitution blow me. Because now we had for the last 15 years, since 2005 we come here, me looking more same lawlessness inside the region and big plus to it. And therefore, suppose me like come up in one vibrant nation or one nation where and me come up outstanding lawyer inside on constitution. You must put him the strongest security measures. We mean police enforcement. We mean all whether there's a discipline process. And we must effective. You know this is the kind for the last 15 years, me staff long, where you me talk also more because you got all kind the situation is not conducive, and therefore you me working talk na straight in talk long passing from Perez. This is like me kissing me for the last 15 years or 20 years now, nowhere. Chairman, nowhere. And constituents and assembly members, nowhere. Me plus stop that yet in one kind of sort. So therefore, long as a member of this constituent assembly, long marking people from me, Me like put him lo here. Lo record also strong in security, he must stop inside on this constitution lo me. You know, this is a police service. Time belum service me finish. You know, got any effectiveness. On this kind of way where police or security enforcement and me provide him. This is a service. You know, got any change. But me groom him, that's all. Lawlessness in the region. Therefore, lawyer, me like call upon long or drafters of this constitution from Mipla. Please build him security long nation. Long this Bougainville. Long come up nation na. Suppose you mean na build him security. This a nation blow me. But you know na po sa mo. You know what na you know what. You got all people outside. All people outside authority, but you control him. Today, you look people lo imi lo Bougainville here. From north na you go to south. Today, nobody control this environment in here. No what na no what true. Therefore, security lo here, me like talk him or him. Put him lo here as a constituent assembly member that the security measures must be a strongest measure inside the constitution bro me. And me must come up. Another point means like raise him lo here. Is that our children, suppose you mean like come up in change of attitude and a change of mind. And we must stop inside of constitution long. All of that beginning, only must educate it. All the children, only born, there is a compulsory, only must be educated. Suppose only not educated, suppose Papa and Mama, bring him this at beginning and put him in the school. Those parents must be go to jail. They must have a constitution. The parents must go to jail. Why? Because only neglecting responsibility from all. And then government na leaders only had na talk. Plenty time na spending so much resource. Lord, these are children of the people of this land. We only neglect him, now only not take him up responsibilities. It must be in the constitution. All the children were only born of Bougainville, from the mothers and fathers of Bougainville, they must go to the education system, and they must be educated. Usat money hang around, or beginning hang around, you behind him, now you find him out. Usat the own in this beginning here. Then if he is on the street, you behind him, parents bring him, now he must start with jail. And people must build him, Bougainville, and people talk long him, yeah? Me talking him instead, you may go come out from one kind of situation here. Money no not worrying one talk here. This is real. Mr. Chairman, and one point me like raise him. It must be in the constitution. Another point me like raise him right here. Where me like strong him talk wrong. Our lands minister. Our lands minister. Suppose you me play around lo kind thing when now you me stop long him now the man or control him land, control him leadership, control him all authorities, lo like bolong all. Me talking me, you will not go anyway. Mo kata something niya, by base long giraw niya. Me no na base and tablo space, me no na base and tablo compra divayo, by sit down long compra something by me plan him, walk him na by me plan come up him. All the development, and by sit down and tablo giraw. The citizens of this land, by sit down and tablo giraw. Therefore, the constitution, you must put him on them. That 98%, more than 98% of, me not sabe how much, that land belongs to the people of this land. And we got right tasol on this sala. And we must stop in the constitution. Only that part where we got right long in that percentage, only got right tasol on this one. That remaining 3%, they must not have right to that. Money talk on the sala, put him in jail. Strong in security. Strong in security. Only got right on talk about this land or their land, on this are 98% here. And that's all. Emtasol. Now, this is with 3% with government and him. They have no right to talk about it. They have no right to disturb anything that they come to. Therefore, any must stop inside the Constitution. You mean not allow him nothing this? Suppose you mean like adopting this Constitution, we must make strong laws. Law is a ground here. Because everything happens to this ground here. You know, under the water, yeah? Law land. Therefore, that 98%, any must got the right long owners of the land. Traditional land owners, you have all the right to talk about that 98% or 97% or whatever. That remaining percent, no 3% or 2% for government, you have no right. It must be stipulated in the Constitution. They have no right. Now you come and you touch him, anybody you touch him, you go to jail. Strong laws. Suppose you mean like move, you go to the next level of go out me. Me like strong Dr. Site recall long, supporting Dr. Long, Dr. Honorable Kim. Recall, yeah, the Constitution, you rouse him. Because you got nervous, he got two options to stop in it. Suppose you know one bill, you go to court of dispute. And that's all. Now you know Napseret, now you know one bill seret. You wait in place of finish. Now you go to election. And that's all. It must be in the Constitution. Why not we got two options finish? Now you mean I put him can recall here. Look what's right on this, sir. Why? He got all relevant agencies staff. Long when him you like check and balance or whatever. Government agencies say stop finish. True, suppose bail blow you pay on him inside of Constitution. Only must look at court of dispute. Now go along election time. Finally, me like to question. This is the Constitution. You mean the line lawyer, you mean not pass him. You mean must let him stop. You got a new line by your come. All a new breed by your come. All new line by come and I mind blow all come. Let him this Constitution. He go to next house. Next house and we must pass him this. Time only debate more. Something and we come inside. Something and we come inside. Let him the next house by adopting this Constitution. Not this house. Because he got plenty area where also now to me doctor. You must send him. Now you must amend him. Sample part on this. Now you must put him, insert him sample part here. Inside on this. One time they said, thank you, Chairman. Don't give me time.
Member for North Nasio, you have credit of 14 minutes.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll seek him leave long. Put him some thing again. Okay, good. Thank you. Because maybe talk finish so me like put him some thing again. Lord is Constitution. Thank you, Assistant Chair long giving me this opportunity. Number one, me like put him you me past time picture. This Constitution now you may come up him and me consistent one time one law government even approve him finish the first government. This law only call him long Bougainville Consultation Act. That's why this Constitution or commissioners or even work the working kiss him thinking all people there come underneath this Bougainville Consultation Act. So I mean consistent, I mean comply with them this plan. And me like put in this plan talk lo you me past them. Okay, one time think this plan me like put him thinking below me lo you me give him name below you me this plan. Country below you me or call him long. Republic of North Solomon. Republic of North Solomon it's a historical issue. The name, we were part of Solomon Islands and Yumi were known as Solomon Islands. Initially, yeah, I mean historical. Now long Bougainville, Republic of Bougainville, Lomiyet, it's an artificial name because I mean no same identity of people of Bougainville. Bougainville, it was a name given by explorer Olikam Kisim Yumi past time, Molipine in Bougainville, and I give him this plan name Bougainville. And name all of friends. And the man, give him Bougainville. And one family of friends. Now he give him this plan name Bougainville. Name all of friends. You know Bougainville. I want to make it clear. So I will support him this decision, the name the Republic of North Solomon. It's historical name. Initially, we were part of Solomon Islands. Even got some transaction even come up now. That's why Solomon is going now. Yumi through long arrangement long. Germany long take over the Yumi now. Okay, so that's what me support in this name Republic of North Solomon. So it's in order. Number two, thing me like put him, also only give me 14 minutes that's all, but me try to put him like 10 minutes that's all. One play issue me like raise him, also maybe talk long and finish. Lo chapter 2, lands and resources and environment, where me like talk hamamas. These provisions only put in the new constitution because it's already included in the current constitution of Bougainville, where we talk about section long 9B, and we talk about ownership of customary land always remain with a clan or individual having customary ownership. It's already in the constitution below you. So what the constitution or commission is now only working is to consult with them all existing constitution below Bougainville. Under section 23, the Bougainville constitution, the existing constitution, it's very clear. When them sub laws or law around, you work him, or mining law, you work him, you must look survey. Lo papa ground and me own him customary land. Now authority law display law section 44, law existing constitution is very clear. Authority law decision making law clan land lies with the clan chiefs. That's why I think we consistent one time again. What we are doing here in law display new constitution and we consistent one time existing constitution, section 23. Now time only implementing this section 23. Now inside of this part 2 again. And we confirm him. Long Mining Act of Bougainville, section 8. Section 8, they talk about him. You papa ground. Long ground below you, customary land. You are the owner of the land and the minerals stuff inside. That's straightforward. Now, it come again long customary land act long. Thank you long. Minister of Lands. And we talk clear again. And we talk clear. Giran block peles, and block peles. Na law belong Land Act Law 2024, and we look savvy law display. So, and we consistent again want them thinking about new constitution and stuff. Where, and we talk about him. You, papa ground, lo ground blo peles, you own him, this ground. Okay, now you got process long how you work him. You have to register it. Now you get some title long end. First of its kind in the world. First of its kind in the world. That you by apply, now you kiss him, now you register him ground below you, now you kiss him title of this ground below you. Okay? So things are okay. So the only thing now you must work him is this new constitution, you must incorporate him again this plan. And also section 44 law, this existing constitution is very clear. Giral law peles and Mr. law ownership law clan chiefs law this law giral because a lot of this law giral law peles comes under law clan There are certain land locales where only kisim also more private land underneath lo custom. So me like sharing more flat, so you can understand him. The other thing me like talk again because me got 10 minutes that's all. Chapter 2, fishing grounds and marine areas, subsection 12, fishing grounds and marine area. Me like talk lo display lo 3 nautical miles. 3 nautical miles. Lo Solowara. So in other words, lo me yet, me think my contribution lo display, lo put in lo constitution, only enough extend them lick. 3 nautical miles from shore, ego. So that extend them go long, how much? 10 too, am I right? 10 nautical miles, because you by got authority lo display. You got authority long and in minimal of them. Display nautical miles and below you also customary land owner or lo sea. So that one time display you are able to put them on commercial thing below you how you can process him in terms of you can apply lo license long involve long say commercially lo fishing and then the other part now you can learn me go logaman below you me by lookout him so think below me all the same so 3 nautical miles me like him by extend him lick so that I'm giving you all original customary ownership lo display nautical miles so that you also can involve lo fishing activities lo display and think me like put him lo display fish Narapla area is the subsection long. The Republic must take appropriate action long protecting marine. Okay, now in Bougainville, I think in Papua New Guinea too, I think only he got, I don't know, where in Bougainville, you may got legislation only approving penis, or call him lo Pirung Wildlife Protection, which means a protected area belong all man lo place. It runs from somewhere in Rorovana or somewhere and they go all the way close to Arupa Airport. This fly, any area only approving lo protect him. So this fly, good plus something so that we are able to manage him this area. Now you may look at him, the resources established this area. Thank you. The other issue me like raise him here, or some contribution below me is long the freedom na rights. Okay? Rights lo you mean in terms of lo you mean long rights lo you mean lo resources and other things. Only talk lo sem. Basically they are covered under what they call basic rights, fundamental rights, and qualified rights, and rights for all people. Me like him, this all rights for you me, only must allow him go through this constitution law protect him. And now the other issue now me like raise him too is time only legislate him all the laws, the underlying laws. Only suspend him sample all the rights. Only put him all same law. Our rights also restrict him or sample all the rights. All rights will you me. Time only say work him law, only talk. We will suspend these rights. Law allow him the issue of making all appropriate laws. So, lo display, all rights, suspend him all rights, na restrict him all rights below yumi underneath the law-making process. Me like him all the same. But we give you an example. When time only legislative law, they will have these provisions here inside the law. Lo suspend them rights below yumi. Na restrict him. Time only say walk him law. We have to be very careful. Time only suspend them all rights below yumi in terms of legislation. Law me yet. Display only must make him clear to suspend of rights below yumi. All get a lawyer, all say walk him here, all say put him this restrict a rights here, all say suspend him. For what? That's why we must make clear to law display all rights. Okay, and some of these rights, also may talk finish, all basic rights, all fundamental rights, and qualified rights. Now, lo suspend him sample all rights, you may lo here, yeah. Bougainville, you may fight him this war because of rights, you may only no look sorry, you may. One time display contribution, lo display. I want to make it clear, also, all Criminal Code Act 2, all Criminal Code blow you me like him by must fair. For example, when you are charged under the Criminal Code Act of Papua New Guinea, Mr. Look him this disparity, in minimal same. Okay, this is right here. But give him, they tend to create all this criminal code here, all the rights below you me. By only talk all them. Law display all the rights below you me, the criminal code. The Papua New Guinea, display criminal code act here. Lo me yet look him all them. They protect all heavyweights, the politicians, all criminal rights, the criminal code act. Now, me play all little man, suppose me play walk him or criminal committing crime. Or me play all heavyweight or politicians and this play only also treating you as a separate or criminal, long or little man. They will look at by attacking person or little man. If they even if they commit a crime, big plus serious crime. So the politicians, the heavyweight in the government, and now by they tend to give him a different assessment. I talk about them, oh, you politician, this right, you broke him, maski. You're a free man. So that's why me like him good play through this criminal code act for Bougainville. It must fair to everybody. Politicians to the simple citizens of Bougainville. So, lo suspend rights na restrictive na. Only must look good lo display. Lo site long the Republic of North Solomon may like him by including lo display constitution below you me. The rights below people below Bougainville in terms of me put him law here along that they should put him law here not Bougainville or North Solomon's tender and procurement commission. It must include it in this constitution so that embassy must be equally go along all the people of Bougainville in terms of all tender and procurement. one time this pla, may hamamas, maybe talk please lo plan something. So, me like contribute lo display lik or lo issues lo yumi long lo display new pla constitution lo bougainville. Thank you to speaker, acting chairman.
Thank you. South Nasioi.
Thank you, Chairman. Me too, me like contribute law debate, contributing some thinking, making more people blow me South Nasioi. Law this la important law blow me constitution belong Republic blow Bougainville. When we start one time chapter 8, really comment blow me chapter 8, rule of law. Inside the constitution, you must got strong law na capacity, law containing breaches of law. Law you all leaders na public service, all laws. Capacity belong to police, law must support him. All law, work law ombudsman commission, na courts, law working work, law handling issues of corruption, law mitigating corruption, and big problem. Suppose we know containing corruption, government will back up him. So, you must have strong rule of law contain mitigating corruption. Corruption law, you mean leaders, na public service. Now, down the line, those of us step inside law, system law government, and big plus something. The law must have a teeth to deal with offenders. Now, somewhere in the law, the rule of law, you must have provision to effectively deal with offenders. And people something. If we walk away scot-free, we will continue to do corruption. Now, government, we will fail the people, and we will fail the government. And people something. So somewhere in the law must be strong, and must got teeth. Do deal one time people people in the system. Some time public servants are doing business in a conflict of interest situations. That is wrong. Now, time all money looking me awesome. All nobody got faith and confidence lo mipla. So this line one point me like stress him. Somewhere in law, process law, you must have strong law to deal with offenders. Law chapter clause 69 law, qualification for election. Me like Tokosem. I think I'm kuplaturo putting some kind monetary on them. Money only me candidate must be able to pay. People not 500 kina. So that is to ensure merit candidates are contesting that can afford some certain amount of money. 500 kina legally money na. Some kind wrong candidates get into the system where people may not be happy with that. Now, somewhere through this process of qualifying leaders for election, maybe all constituencies can do endorsement of candidates through some popular consensus, popular voting, before we actually go to election. They could be endorsed by the people. For example, law constituency, pipeline man is set up. Only can work in some like pre-selection within the constituency of certain candidates. Now only I talk, okay, out of the 10, we want 4 blood to contest. This is like something, 4 to contest. I believe this, we should put it somewhere in the constitution, I mean important, to discourage just all kind money contest. Now wasting time on people, wasting their own time, now wasting resources for government. So some kind of pre-selection within the constituency for candidates to qualify them only can contest. That's one point. Now, law citizenship, This will bring problem where all line blow outside they can married to Yumi, either married to Mary or married to man, or some like Yumi can look him long, like Chinese doing business, that must stop. If we must stop him, that will create problem in terms of, by me challenge long haul, na im no kupla. So the law, they should not be bougainvilleans. They should not be termed as bougainvilleans just because they marry bougainville or man bougainville. Because for convenience sake, local maritime you mean a working business. That must stop law constitution. Someone in maritime marry bougainville for interest of doing business, I mean no right. So that must stop. Law must stop in this law. Law must stop in this law. That's not. I mean no ethical. I mean no true bougainvillean. Call me citizen. Law chapter 3 make a comment law good governance na leadership. I talk finish law mitigating corruption. Law must cut some like in sentencing 10 to 20 years sentencing or life imprisonment because we are just coming out of a outlaw post-conflict environment and we will tend to break in some like in law. So law must put in some kind of terms, 10 or 20 years for law mitigating corruption or life imprisonment. Law chapter 4, law human rights. You can talk law rights, law sexist. You can talk law right, law sexist. All gay marriage, maybe not can stop law bougainville. We must out him law constitution. Gay marriage not can stop. Law side law, employment, member law, lato I talk law, dual salary system law, morning. I think we should have a single line salary. In terms of rights law employment, a single line salary. Suppose you got one national engineer. You got third party national, third country national with the same qualification and expatriate. They should be on one single line salary, not dual salary like you got now. We expatriate any different amounts of salary. Third country national any another amount of salary in Papua New Guinea national, all with same qualification and same experience. That should stop. Only should earn him. You should earn him. You need to go to single line salary because you got same experience, same qualification. I mean, no can cut this disparity. The education and plenty of comment come up. We are being made to study wing-blown or butterflies. All this kind of. I think all of young people should be taught life skills from early age. Life skills. How to look at money, savings, na life skills. Or life skills only can use him to building lives long or this kind of education system should target him this kind learning, this kind of education centered around life skills. Freedom from arbitrary expropriation. This is a right. Me like Togosem. The government must have a right law expropriating foreign businesses. Don't nationalize them some kind of businesses. The government should have a right in a lawful way through fair compensation. Suppose government hamamas. Government should have a right law nationalizing some assets, foreign assets. That's not to discourage foreign investment, but through fair compensation. Suppose some kind of discrepancy inside law, this law environment, this law business. Chapter 12, constitutional laws. You got one comment below me, constitutional laws concerning international authority. Law instances of sorcery verification laws or processes and penalties. I think the formal law should take charge of that area because big pla bakarapi mi oklo painim lo side lo sorcery na poison no manoko dai natin na inoga kupla evidence. So the formal law I think should come in put in place some kind of law to deal with that area. I mean very difficult area to now. Planted lives lost and there's no real evidence of people only die long. And so law chapter 12, I think law, our constitution should look this law more deeply and ensure a formal law in karamapim. Karamapim, there should be a way to mitigate time die come up. The formal law must come in place because it's now proven. Trace no law, I mean on up. Trace no law, I mean on up. Law Mibla, law Nasser, we have 7 laws to law behind him to prove that somebody is guilty. But those laws have never been fulfilled, satisfied. So my comment is the formal legal system will come in place now mitigating this process. Hopefully that we can mitigate him now. Everybody will come up from on both sides. Chapter 2, land resources na environment. Land resources na environment, development of natural resources. I think inside the law, we must be careful how by we developing natural resources from people. Mining, we must have a modality that is in favor. For example, on mining, the system, Papua New Guinea got at the moment where government, buy equity, and by putting big plan now. So I think we should have a modality law. How is for us to come up with a modality so we can own and run and develop those resources. You meet one time credible partner Blomipla. We can call fundraising and you can mobilize expertise from all over the world with a credible partner. So not to give rights to a foreigner where you meet an in order law you making business, you have to pay equity. And then by people go borrow, creating debt that will burden us. But since resource employ me, we have to have a modality where we will own the resource, own the lease, and will operate it with a credible partner, especially mining. This like I lot as all put in Papua New Guinea big blood now over 100 billion today of borrowing. And this line big plus so modality. I say we passing one piece of law gold, go out and buy levy, gold and one commodity. I mean strong commodity and resource where you got could plant economic benefits. Time blown currency decline, economic decline, gold by maintaining value belonging. Gold by backing economy belonging. So gold, building gold reserves, and we want to something. From our resources. And by strong economy, we can borrow against it because we have a store of wealth. We have a store of wealth, so that's a kind of thing that law must giving you powers law, resources below you me, so that we get a fair share of benefits from resources. So I think this law legally contribution below me. Thank you, law, all commissioners, law, president, vice, HU, draftsman, technical line, work along him, kupla. One time this last templo, government me to me thank you more people from the South National marking me. So this is the pipeline, yes, so hopefully by me look next templo government. Thank you, Mr. Mr. Chairman, not Mr. Chairman.
Chairman,
Mem-
may I seek leave to have a last plan input where maybe supposed to make him the last sitting?
Okay, those leave, is the leave granted? Go. Okay, go ahead, Minister.
Thank you, Chairman. So based law, all contributions that me been making law first sitting me got last pla four pla. Bebla maskirap na ipla harim all members law Constituent Assembly. Number one, law. I was supposed to make an input law justice system. On the justice system, being conscious that Bougainville is resource rich. Low mountain go down, low solwara we have, but given that quite a lot, you may behind him rot where Papua New Guinea behind him long him. And given the experience, last 5 years, dealing with a corporate company that was on Bougainville and left unaccounted for the last 35 years, me like to put him on record that as we're developing our new constitution, Republic Bougainville, I want to ensure that we need to have the comfort on the grounds corporate accountability. Plenty time, even now, you may stop long and you may engage on time. Plenty corporate company through, you may pull him all come inside. Time you may carry him all come inside. Even underneath the law, justice system, Papua New Guinea, they are given freedom after 6 years. That if only bagarap him something lopeles, we cannot be held, you may not hold him all accountable after 6 years. And that has been the case with Panguna. So we would not want to repeat. You may not like to repeat in Disla, where the people, the resource guardians will have to go all the way seeking other countries' justice system and see where they can have a voice. We need to ensure that Disla law must protect him straight. Disla so that Rio does not repeat on Bougainville in other prospects, whether inside Lo Solwara or long reaches long Naraplahap, Bougainville. So that rule which applies in PNG justice system on corporate accountability must be reflected on Bougainville laws that even in months or Amaspla within the course of development, accountability has to be an ongoing check and balance thing inside law, justice system, Bougainville. The other front on governance, me look through the section of governance where you may look in. Governance at the moment on the current practice, where current practice is concerned, you got clarity to my stool or how the intersectoral governance system by work one time. At the moment, while we have our 14 departments, if we are graduating these 14 departments into a sovereign state, how does this law by clearly putting out that engagement is there? And the other thing is on information access. Chairman, them won't have where me concerning me because you know that clarity because there's quite a lot of information that Emilusim's Warablo Bougainville too, and it has gone out to other places. The law will have to come out very clean on that to say whatever that was lost under the colonial administration, I may go end up to that information will have to whether it comes under the organic law or this law, but I'm putting it on record from the experiences that we've already had with Panguna, where we have to go so many different countries' libraries and archives to see what is it that we can be able to hold as a tool for accountability. So I'm all this land. Outside of freedom, of religion, Miba talks that there has to be a very clear criteria. Also, yeah, I mean, I do not, me no like Lobagarapim anyone, but looking at now, there are church practices that are happening on Bougainville where no one is voting. Even there are certain church members who are allowed not to vote. In my constituency, last time by election, 17 line tasol go vote because the rest belong to a faith practice that does not allow them to vote. And it's becoming serious where businesses are funding them. And these are businesses on Bougainville that are, they're Christianizing the business plans. So it is real. While we can say it's not happening, it is happening that the outskirts of Bougainville, well, literacy coverage, covering all. They've been colonized through a lot to Iwoklo come up. So there has to be standards set where there has to be criteria. What kind of a church can the government recognize as a church on Bougainville? So these are things that if we give them too much freedom, that freedom can be misinterpreted and it can create division to the point that I think me like law add on law when a member of Torokina talk long. These are serious things. In the past, politics blow Yumi law Papua New Guinea na Bougainville was called a tribalism democracy. Yeah. Lo here me talk, this is Christianized democracy too. And there are different sects that are coming in. So before we take a reactive approach as we've always done for a lot of times, our law needs to ensure that it protects all the ferries where we can allow him kind of issue lo come up. So something me no been adding, Chairman, me put him long record. Thank you.
Member for Torokina.
Thank you, Chairman. May I seek grip to Edim Eric talk again. Okay, the Chairman, we got important, me looking most important to me can put him tinting long. Pandita, you talk law and all issues you go come up. Today, one has something me go looking at this la the moral decay and the respect you me lost him this la time. So lo me go look. Lo this la constitution, I think me must me no look him or one blah pista by me can insert him, but me making commentary that's also. Society blow you me stop inside lo Austrade. Today this la talk no good, you know been sabe got people. Lo call him nothing lo private life or name of man na marry emi go over geta. Na passing respect. Emi lost him you mister it. Where do we fit in this constitution? So me like just put him emi consider in this la. This la especially Tayumi come inside of this la. Tayumi like need him this la full change you like him. Meeting was emi need law. That's why me been comment law rights law pikinini. Maybe in line one time emi need to guide him too. This society emi must play him in a way that house emi must start good. Start law house, community, agricole press. This he must got law passing for respect in our man. Emi lusi yumi. Where this emi lead up he go long, law and other issues. Na he go big for society. So law constitution emi must clearly insert him all this la. The moral decay has gone to worse. You mean no passing we mean no talk also you mean by go back law passing local custom before. Yes, change is coming up. But you must look too long. Whereby you fit in when the change is long. Emi no can bagar up in society too. So you may guide him. Na you may go come up with this lab. So me look him this lab sem lig man too now. Emi no have respect in tribal man. By talk no good him too. Swear him. All this la kind something So this la me where so you no can blame him or me been come out law crisis na this la yeah. You me look him or up you can maintain him or this la areas lo yumi, but emi mas tabin sa tatimba emi edim lo one ma, but mi putim taso sem bla commentary lo mi, Mr. Chairman. Narapatu mi like to kanta lo member lo kokoda, em lo side long. Yumi give him rights lo pikinini o disturb lo side lo school. Planti lain, kapmani go use him. Planti resources lo working classroom, building classroom. Planti proposal ikam no community lo building classroom, working infrastructure development. That's what time classroom is finish. Papa mama ilukim natin pikin ini emi no go school. Emi na remember natin taso na esa government, esa society. Why you look natin lo sila kay normal? Or we will be continuing funding classrooms. Where beginning by pila ilongem. Emi no na go school. These are some of the things that real life happenings now. So, mi sa to korsem, time or money sa to, emi pa by building classroom lo ya. But the real result long up, yung parents you must have responsibility for education. Maybe emi no rights lo yumi lo talking more, but this la pikini emba kama pikini lo kauman ya. Emi no pikini lo papa tasor na mama. So you must come on, you must got some lolo banisi moldis la line man. Banisi yumi. Okay, ilo narpa side lo, oro side long lo. O se mi go tinting. Tai mi pasim dis la lo. Mi mas looking long some years time where mi no na abstablo dis la time mi go pasim dis la lo. Me, I may be no, mi no na member dis la time amas 5 years, 50 years, 20 years time. So mi no can look this na mi pasim. The side lo recall to mi may talk. This house sambla members have been affected lo this pasim lo recall. That's why the work po no been come up one time second time come because of stop passing. So in a event that member you win back, time mi looking mo some recall mi fail. You think empire work good one time very easy, empire affect him too. So Mino to ko sa mga email bato sige mino kuluklo sa site to where finding one bra anywhere koto anem disla again alright mino to ko sa mi ko disla constitution mino mi bay disla pate mino mi bay sa nana plan membay biyan tam bay kama 30 years time 20 years time 50 some years time mi to ko sa mi ko mino na benefito disla time. But nara plamani pa kami inside. Imi puting kutol sema. Imi pasim lo because you know the benefit yumi. The future is coming up there. That's why mi tokol sem. The time we make him or constitution. Let's not be driven by emotions of us today, but the future. So, emo commentary from me. Puti mo sem na imigen puti mo shaping this nation lo yumi biyan time. Tayo mira pun or nana pala by kam using this constitution. There may be some amendments by kam, something, but I'm already contribution. You must give him responsibility, guide your parents or suppose or you know one him kind of one him or one by staff lo. Gaman rong olo ground lo this la side lo parents you know go arim talk na planti line ni luk natin sambla ori go sarim or pikini blong olo logo walking finding money time they are school age kids emol sambla something and then you may go gaman emi take full responsibility all get something where sambla emi blong or parents or chief leaders, all this or something. Na, I think Mr. Assistant Chairman, and really contribution add on to this. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we have exhausted all the members. Our Minister for Technical Services.
Thank you, Assistant Speaker.
last time even talk, so I made him something again on this session. I guess I was the first one to talk about the name, the Republic of North Solomons. So some are arguing that because we were called North Solomons, we should retain that name. So, but I'm telling you that it is like now somebody is telling us, oh, your grandfather is Joe, so you should be called Joe. If there are two persons, one is Jack Williams, or the other one is William Jack, Robert Jack, you call him long crowd, you talk Jack, and two by son up, look. So this is the point that we were trying to make, that if we are using North Solomons, we will be confusing the world, because now they know us by the name Bougainville. So I strongly believe that we should retain the name Bougainville. It's a brand name now. And the other issue that I want to talk about is agriculture. Now, today most of the population only start on subsistence farming. But subsistence farming is not a way forward for our future economy. We must transform to a cash economy. So within the Constitution, we should factor it. So within some time, we must transform from subsistence farming to a modern cash economy. So this Constitution, we are making it for ourselves, the human beings. But there is a concern that we should also be including the flora and fauna. I think the member for North Nasir has already mentioned that there are some islands that there has to be conserved. But what I'm trying to say here is, if you go around in town, you see a lot of animals, dogs. All many animals is an animal. These are animals, because you mean domesticating. We are supposed to look after them. In the wild, they'll be feeding themselves. But since you mean domesticate them, now you mean not feed them all. Then we run around. Some by looking only angry straight, gun belong only come out. Hey, misa looking all misa sorry. Because it is our actions, all these animals too are going to suffer. Because you mean walking all towns, they're supposed to be living freely. So maybe factor it somewhere in the Constitution or in the organic law that whoever wants to look after animals, you have a responsibility to feed them. No must be worse, because plenty money like look out all animals, dogs especially, so they run around. So this is one issue that me like raising. The other one is the biodiversity Bougainville. I think it's attached to the blue-green economy policy which the Labour Land Minister and President Tim Long must be. You may got plenty of good forest, but with the alluvial mining, and by me bagarami forest. But these are some of the areas where behind all marasin about by me walking along all this up, or DY or rope. So we must look out him. The pharmaceutical companies all by come. They will use our forest to make medicines. That's why we have to control alluvial mining or cash crop
cocoa farming, limit him, put him on our good ground. One aspect too, me like talk to built environment. Built environment. And Lomi Blau architect engineer. Built environment, them all towns and cities. Because these are built by human beings. We build them. That's why we call them built environments. But in our constitution or the organic law, we need to capture that these built environments must be green. Green architecture, green buildings. Also known, some lab now along Asia, always, by looking more, growing more grass along our building, all look nice. Tourism. I'm saying, encouraging tourism along looking more cities along. So let us discourage ourselves from building our slums. We must build good towns, good cities for tourists to come and visit. Central bank is important. Milak tok lonisat. Central bank must be independent. It must not be politicized because all politicians control in central bank. That's where inflation about this come up. You know, can printing money don't like. Money must be generated by the economy. You know, politicians talk, okay, you printing plenty money. And these are something that causing inflation. Too much money around. Price of goods go up. Now something we like talk long, this is a constituency grant. Most of us become victims of this grant. I think we should put it on some lab where I can go on account from member. Now, these are two by stopping plenty man on contest on elections. Plenty is a contest on elections because of this a constituency grant. Put it on some lab so you may access him by way of maybe writing proposals. Member kisi money or get a man say, oh, member now kisi money. Only start asking you. Since this a constituency grant even come up, we can estimate about 80 million even spent on this constituency grant. When something will come up, 80 million, we come up in big work finish. But also one family, I'm kissing 100 kina, family by kissing 100 kina, I'm giving 10 kina on one man or family member talk, okay, you gonna use him. Not making money na come back. You think it's a 10 kina by making more from something. Suppose it's a family talk. That uses 100 kina and generates something. And by looking, money by come up. So this is the reason why you stop poor yet. Or Prime Minister, I'm talking, you've line already. And because you throw my money in about. We have spent. We misuse it. Culture. Me like talk about culture. Culture is important. We should be able to preserve it. Now something, cultural intellectualism. You got all man or sabe good on culture. Sabos only present in his culture long or long school, only can kiss him masters long. Time is school long lay, Unitec. One la professor long me, and being sim this doctorate long him just by studying civic architecture. Why can't we reward our people? Also, money sabe long the UP system where we can kiss him masters long this. You know, I'm outside that long come kiss him masters na study him na UP na kiss him masters long him. Him something blow me. It's our culture. We must benefit. We must recognize those people. And the other thing I want to talk about is the elections, culturalization of elections. Now next week, by truckload of people, by only go nominate. I think we are just confusing. These are elections and come along a white man. Now we more confused one them culture law. This thing needs to stop. But maybe on the next election, maybe you may allow him, for some cross opinions. But in future, we should at least control these things. So much money spending big money on this culture of elections. Hey, some of the time I come up corrupt money because he has to get back his money somehow. People or suppose you meet long or is something. We got one story long, one candidate long must be. Time all not apply up. Or it come on truck load, bus load. This is candidate here. Let me go one them meet, long car, let me go put him name, take off. While all his colleagues were celebrating. Time result come up. This is a candidate I'm winning. And that is the candidate, that is the Prime Minister who was there when the peace agreement was signed. So I think you must think on this lab, looking whether it's beneficial on you, long behind time or not. Assistant Chairman, how much time we got?
Well, you have 2 more minutes.
Okay, last two, one plus we talk about energy. Energy, I mean, some all renewable energy generations, hydros. We got one plus case where we like talking with blind. I think Norway. Before, all outsiders are only more hydropower stations. But here you go, Parliament and pass him now all Norwegians, only more renewable energy systems. So that's why today Norway and come up is one of the advanced countries in the world. So this must imitate him, or get a renewable energy or hydro systems. You know can talk, okay, meeting out him outside I come. You businessman now, you start any money. Must be don't throw my money in about. You build your wealth. Must be this edible power station is owned by a Chinese. 700 million in development is edible along Brown River. So it's outside our owning that resource. So long here you suppose you like you may develop most of these energy systems, you must own it. Last one, we like Dr. Klongem and environment protection. Even before we come up independent, plant the all environment, we back up in finish. This is a backside long up here where all mangrove is stop and lose finish. Coastline too. All man cooking all DY. rising sea level and come up on this. So we need to factor it in the constitution or in our organic laws that we need to protect our environment. Time long fight, and environment and protect him Yumi. Now we must protect him environment. It's at 2:18. Thank you, Assistant Speaker.
Honorable Member for Motuna Huyono.
Thank you, Acting Chairman, for giving me time to contribute to the debate to this new Constitution. Okay, by me commenting long Chapter 11, na Chapter 2. Okay, Chapter 11, timi echo ligik to what the member copy and been mentioning. Chapter 11, we have government services. We have government services 137 government services, 138 North Ramon Services Training Center, 138 Defense Force. So me got thinking because all through this island, I think I stayed. Attorney General mentioned him ligik that the new generation, or yang blavloyimi ori lelek, or legim nisad, tindim lo independence. Okay, some like nogat. The generation we are sitting here, mibla well west, with the whole walkabout. But you look at the new generation. All sin down, no, not talk more independence. Or talk long modifying boombox. So that time you look at mangi long certain villages biting or goes in Sinkaur. But they are carrying a boombox that has been modified. The modify some tinting, talk lo steady more heavy lo pilas and more nogat. They are carried that way with what is coming from outside. Such simply or say more no care too much. So with that, me like in the new constitution, including 140, a Republic of North Ramon's National Service, compulsory national service. The focus should be on our youth, both male and female, from different educational level. They can start at maybe grade 8. Time all finish in grade 8, people go to grade 9, they go to some kind of training. Basic carpentry, mechanical, basic electrical, baking, sewing and all that. Because schools me as for my teacher, I have seen that some of the schools are not this. The practical, hence to some of those practical subjects. In the 70s and 80s, early 90s, practical subject, it was up and running in the schools. One time, when the inspector came, then he was observing a teacher who was teaching on how to prune cocoa. Theory and give him pruning cacao. Then inspector behind the teacher all go inside the cocoa block. The teacher told students to cut grass. So inspector, I'm telling me go back. Because with the theory and the practical, you know that. Teacher teaching more theory, pruning cacao, na school, you know that pruning tools. So that is partly what is happening today. In our schools, me will imitate. Home ec, you know got the home ec equipment. Even though schools he got money, but all go give him theory that's all. Primary school, primary, there's an oval that are supposed to look out him, na make all mangi pillai, or teach him more theory about 11 players in a soccer game, na 7 reserves, but actually I'm not going to pillai because Philly boost. So those are some things that me like highlighting. So we should have a compulsory national service that every student, male and female, they have to go through some formal training. Member Trogina, Dr. Moral decay. Some of the students are teaching more, but others are kissing too much. Passing the established place. The basic universal values, they are taught in elementary, in come on top. But those are loose thinking. Maybe somewhere along the line, when they go through this compulsory training, all might come across that same as a repeat. Also, during this compulsory national service, students can be taught about civics, how basically governments are work. Last week, that's all, me giving league workshop. I got somebody, now Mangi talk man, me brano Sairo research something. First time we saw what the structure of government looks like, what the legislature is, what the executive does, judiciary and making money. So those are some of the things that Sumatin can go through. Not students, but our youth. Today's youth, they are very creative, very innovative. Just look at those villages, suppose you come to them, now you looking more monkey, carry more mambu boombox. That's how creative this new generation is. But you must steer more, na put it along the way. They'll be more creative to build better things to help our communities. Those who have never been to grade one, today are getting mobile na working more connection. That's the younger generation that we have. But I need him, you mean set him some pathway that they can develop. Also through the compulsory national service, we will promote patriotism. All by lining na accepting more bougainville. And that will lead to greater thinking of nationalism. Tete, you mean Lusimol Ose, more by Torari Molita Woki. Mi Platugo Pianim Nisarot. Thank you. So, me like the new Black Constitution, part of government service include 140. Republic of North Solomons National Service. I think it was done in the 1970s. Papua New Guinea, people independence. It has brought many good results. We can go back. And look at that. Number two, Milatoto Ligig Long, Side Long, Environment. Chapter 2, Clause 9, C. Each person in North Solomons has an obligation to maintain a clean and healthy environment for future generations and undertakes to use resources in moderation and to replenish the land. Today, we talk about cash flow from cocoa. Cash from cocoa very high. Some places are using fertilizers to increase production. On Mirabla, they are using weedicides, Roundup, Chromoxin, and they are using those chemicals as if all we are using Sambraga and Waranati. Those chemicals, they have warnings written on. Some of the farmers are keeping moisture, have chemical inside, underneath the bed blower, they have the sleep. Inside the house cook. Some shops, they are selling those things with drinks, those side. That chemical is dangerous. So I think there has to be some control on the import of those chemicals. Before this tribe la cocoa block here, all mans are killing him lohan. Today, even the road, Liti go to house, chromoxin work, no gat sarep. That chromoxin is very dangerous. And more dangerous chemicals. Sa member, bola me amblata mem to or nagovis sa to kem Pepsi lo nagovis. Lo committee society. The point is not that. The point is those chemicals should be controlled, should be restricted. Now, me look to master tribal, not tribal, but other chemicals used in mining, and we put a blind eye on those chemicals that most cocoa farmers are using. Me support him, Tintin Blow, member Rule. The side blow development grant. I think that grant has to be put somewhere where one authority has to decide. While we, the members, they come in here to legislate, to debate. And now I'm saying, look behind him, or a man wants 10 kg rice. That's a term I use. You become a member, with that system in place, you member carry 10 kg rice. And you become an ATM machine. Now you don't got sleep all night. You are on call 7 days. If that money is parked somewhere, for an authority to decide how to use, like the member of Rule Technical Service Minister time talk, 80 million. Somewhere we got nothing. We should see some pictures of it. But you scare him, no impact. To me, that development grant is a ticket for you to come back and maintain the seat. How you give him 100 kina all man, that's a voter base. So it has to be put somewhere. Now this money too, sir, give him unnecessary pressure on all members. The support allowance is okay. Member Halim, now you can debate. Most of our time is consumed with small submissions. Prime League cover, League Gorwanem, for League projects. So I think that money too in the new constitution, put him on the system. An authority will look after it and decide. Member North Nashville stated before the election, in the US they have opinion polls. Opinion polls are go pass. Kisim tinting. Community choose by looking at maybe 10 candidates to trim it down to 3 according to opinion poll. Me bratu, we can put that on the constitution. Member pay them to 20 candidates challenge him. Those 20 candidates, maybe they have done it 50,000 development grant. Not to come and debate. So that opinion poll will put those that the constituency think are more suitable law contest. So that one, me plug and put in, USA is the biggest democracy in the world. But whatever I practice, me plug to can kiss him, the new black country. Because me too, me na sa mas na rugi mo siya, 30 black candidate, the contest lo ang black seat. Ang lo kat wog lo pelis. So I think everybody has the dream to contest so that they have access to whatever the money that is there. Okay, so I'm thinking the side blow election. Because you know, can come to plenty paisa up. Okay, so we can have the opinion poll like what they do in the US, whether it's an expensive exercise, but we need to try. Okay, so I think one them is there. Me support him, Tintin Blong, a member for Lule, especially the side blow is money. The development grant, it should be parked somewhere. So that a proper authority sits down to get it, now carry out of work. But there's a work about government, I think one day, somewhere, that will happen. Because in the past, by me giving the example, long, not electorate, in the provincial government days, you got two labuntas also compete. Osagorim Reno community government. These two osa compete, no got one blood, workman of BCL two sa compete. No got workman of provincial government two sa compete. Those two politicians look over and stop it. One time, Pablo, I think Dr. Naiwa, those were the only two. Two plus a compete. Campaign blow two plus. By two plus, I'm the sole looking more cheap, not talk me up now. There were no political fightings. And Chief Duke Deogari is my ward member in the Motunahono Tokunuti community government. And I told them, I want you to do a breakup for this development grant. All the ward members writing me stuff, look, I'm going out. I've never been involved as a politician to do that breakup. You plus Ambra walking. So me to why now you making me to know my time? I was never involved. I didn't know. I only knew about the budget. Me plus I work in budget. So he walked out, and that gave me a signal. Honorable, I sit down na working more con break up na about. Some were genuine, some were not genuine. So me heard him pass now. He talk member gave me to know. The law says that that money is under the discretion of the constituency until you come up with the proper plan. So me support him, comment long statement, member me like those. So that money I think should be in the fifth house, parked somewhere. Some line by sitting down and working decision. While members come and debate. Member Marcus and Pairab na talk. Me no working plan the law because we are so carried away as project ministers. Karim na visiting more communities to make the community happy. But that's what Mr. Wilson and I'm making. So one time this, I think I'm making contribution from me long. Sa new debate sa new constitution. Thank you, acting chairman.
Thank you. I think we have we'll end our debate here. Now, me give me time long rest, but me like Toksabe also, we got some credit minutes. Those who have our debated today, you got some credit minutes, and tomorrow, and by me continue on this debate. Okay, so that's the announcement. So. By me adjourn now long this afternoon. Honorable members of Bougainville Constituent Assembly, I will now propose the question to adjourn the Bougainville Constituent Assembly meeting tomorrow at 10 a.m. I do now propose the question that the Assembly do now adjourn to tomorrow, Friday, at 10 a.m. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Okay.
This finish him now. meeting for this afternoon being the Bougainville Constituent Assembly meeting for today, Thursday, the 3rd of July, 2025. And as you've heard, when the session began after lunch at 2 p.m. Bougainville time, the constituency members were given the opportunity to raise debates or comments on provisions in the second draft constitution of the Republic of North Solomons. Okay, this constitution was written after much consultations with Bougainvilleans within Bougainville, across mainland Papua New Guinea, and in certain countries across the globe, in Australia, Bougainvilleans in Australia and Solomon Islands. And as mentioned, the draft constitution contained various issues on such as the name of the nation to be, what the education system would be like, human rights, with regard to elections, what are the requirements to contest the presidential seat. So such views that were captured in the Constitution were discussed today. So this is the second meeting for the Constituent Assembly since it was established in May, and today being the second meeting, much was discussed. And as mentioned, when the meeting started this morning, it will be a two-day meeting to discuss the Constitution. So today was day number 1, and the meeting will continue tomorrow. So if you have been tuning in, viewers and listeners within Bougainville, across mainland PNG, and of course around the globe, if you have been tuning into Bougainville Parliament TV to watch these sessions live, we thank you so much for your company. We hope you were able to hear what was discussed, and look forward to finding out what the outcome would be when the second day of the meeting resumes tomorrow. So that has been the meeting for today, the Bougainville Constituent Assembly meeting for today, being Thursday, the 3rd of July 2025, and we will join you again to bring you more from this meeting when the meeting starts tomorrow morning. But our time in the studio, our time here at the Parliament is 5:10 Bougainville time, and we look forward to joining you all tomorrow. On behalf of the crew here at Bougainville Parliament TV and NBC Bougainville, we thank you so much for your company, and we look forward to joining you again tomorrow.